What is going on, comic book fans? Guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 2 of episode 1 of Probing Bruce. Now, hopefully you guys watched last week's video, the first part of this series. It's a Q&A series. You guys sent in questions. I answered those questions, and you guys sent in so many that there were just too many to put in one video. So this is the second part. I answered the rest of your guys' questions, so I hope you guys really enjoy it. There'll be a link right up here. I forgot what side it's on, to part 1. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch that first, and then come back and watch this one right here. But if you guys already watched that, let's go ahead and dive in to part 2 of episode 1 of Probing Bruce. Next up, Kurt Skites. I'm totally butchering your name, sorry. But let's ask the question. Bruce, who, in your opinion, is the coolest artist in your favorite cover? Mine is McFarlane, and any cover or interior art of his is my fave. That is almost an impossible question to answer, because every single video I say, oh my god, this is one of my favorite artists, because there are so many. So many. One of my favorite cover artists right now is DK Ruan. Almost everything he puts out, I just immediately fall in love with. Ben Caldwell, the way he draws women, it's just really fantastic. Michael Delanis, the artist on Zawa and Wind, he is such a cool dude, and his art is gorgeous. I think his interiors and all the covers he do are really cool. Jorge Jimenez, guys, he's been on Batman for so long, and he's part of the reason why I think Batman has done as well as it has, because his artwork is so good and his covers are amazing. I'm forgetting about so many people. Adam Hughes, his covers are amazing. So many people. There's so many great artists out there, but those are some of my favorite. I mean, there's also Mitch Gerards and Greg Capullo. They're all just great. There's too many for me to nail down one, but DK is probably my favorite cover artist right now. That's probably as best as I can do right now, at least. Moving on, Hook Songs. Hey brother, how did you get into comics? Where did you get them as a kid? My older brother read them, so they were always around in the spinner rack at 7-Eleven for me, a rock on. I got into comics because I was bored in college. I wasn't living on campus when I transferred from Franklin Pierce College in New Hampshire to Marist in New York. I had to get my own apartment. I had a roommate, and we were both bored one day, and there was this strip mall. And there was an anime store, and we were both watching a lot of anime back then, but there was also a comic book store in there as well. And I went in there and I saw Michael Turner's Batman Superman, like I said earlier in the video, and I fell in love. I started going in there more than every week, because I didn't understand comics back then, that they came out weekly. So I'd go in on Saturdays and Sundays and Tuesdays and Mondays and Wednesdays. And then I finally, one of the kids working there I became friendly with, and he explained to me weekly books and everything else. But I went to a local comic book store in Poughkeepsie, New York. So that's how I found and fell in love with comics. Next up, JBone3182. Can you do a tour of the comics on the wall behind you? Of course I can. Now these are going to change because I changed them up a lot, and I'll show you why. Come on guys, let's go for a quick tour. Hopefully the lighting isn't too bad over here. So on the top shelf, here we go. We got Little Bird, and we got this awesome Harley Quinn cover, and then we got, what is this, Batman Beyond Neo-Gothic issue number 1 by DK, and that's that Michael Turner cover I was telling you about, and this is that Vigilante Teen Titans Annual that I was telling you about, and the Peacemaker cover, and Resident issue number 1, and I believe that's Something is Killing Children by Ian Bertram, issue number 2, signed by, I want to say, James Tynan IV. And down here on these shelves that I made over the summer, or winter I guess, it's just, these are comic capsules, so I can easily swap these out. I'm actually going to swap them out later today for a new set, but you know, we'll get some Iron Man by DK. Oh yeah, this is a whole thing on DK. So Iron Man by DK, Ultimate Spider-Man, Something's Killing the Children, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then down here, oh, my camera work is terrible. What do we got over here? We got that X-Men issue number 1 ever by Joshua Sway-Swaby, so good. Godzilla, so good, by Jay Gonzo. Oliver Copel, Dust to Dust, and this is that awesome Chris Samney Spider-Man. And down here, just some randos I picked up. This is just a version of some issue of Something's Killing the Children, Jenny Frison, Mitch Gerards, and Napalm Lullaby. But the cool thing about those are the comic capsules, because they allow me to switch them out at will. And I'm going to start doing like little labels underneath the shelves that kind of tell you what is on the shelf. Like this bottom shelf, I try to keep as just in, like, you know, the comics that I get weekly. And if there's a really cool cover, I'll usually swap them out for those. And then up here, just a really cool set. And then I try to do like an artist right there. So that's my idea. Let's keep moving, because there's still so many questions. This video is gonna be way too long. I'll have to make the next one shorter, but that's okay. This one will be a little long. All right, next question by Jay Delana. Would you rather have $100 to buy yourself a comic book of your choosing, or $1,000 for Stephanie to buy a comic book or books without any input from you? I think that's a great question. You're trying to get me in trouble with Stephanie, aren't you? I know you are. So I'm gonna fix this camera because it got all squirrely. I would probably say $100 to buy something that I would really want. Stephanie does know some artists. Actually, no. I want to say $1,000 that Stephanie could do a good enough job, because I think I know what she would do. She would find some Jorge Jimenez rare covers or signed books, and I would get a bunch of either slabbed or signed books by Jorge or Werther Dell'Edera, or maybe she'd find out the artist on the wall is Ben Caldwell and get some really cool covers from him. She's smart, and she does do a lot of good research for gifts. She's the best gift giver I've ever met. And I think she'd do a great job. So not $100 for myself. I would do $1,000 to Stephanie. What's your favorite hobby outside comics? I already said. Oh, that question is from JW Storytelling. Computer building. I really, really enjoy it. I also love finding parts on the secondary market for cheap and then building a really powerful computer that I can help my friends with. Because a lot of my friends, I shouldn't say a lot, some of my friends trust me enough to give me their money, and I will buy them as powerful a computer as I can, piece by piece. It's really fun. Kevin McKee asks, I watch all your videos. Do your kids share your passion for comics? My youngest one, Jack, is starting to. He is a huge reader. He does love regular books, like, you know, no picture books, just reading all the way through. He just started that this year, and he powers through. I'm so proud of that kid. But he is starting to get into comics, and I'm trying to get him in more. There is a new Adventure Time series starting. I think the first issue comes out soon. I'm going to buy extra copies, one for myself and one for him, so that way we can read those together and talk about those. And I can hope to build up the hobby that way with him. He, like I said, he chewed through that compendium. He loves Dogman. We actually gave away a whole set of Dogman to one of Stephanie's colleagues, because her daughter was getting, or a friend of hers daughter was getting into reading, and we thought Dogman would be a great gift, and we thought Jack was past those books, but he actually just spent his own money, $70 of his own money, to buy the whole set again. So the kid just loves certain things at certain times and will spend anything on them. So yes, Jack, but Nate and Sophia, they're in their own worlds. Nate loves music. Sophia is just a girl she plays a lot of softball, and she likes talking to her boyfriend. That's really all she's got going on right now. Next up, Mark Davis, quick question. Which program do you use for your pull list? It looks so clean. League of Comic Geeks. That's where I do a lot of my research for comic books. For my FOC video, I do use other sites to make sure I'm talking about the right thing, and those books actually are on FOC. But League of Comic Geeks is one of the best sites that I found that has every single cover and every single book, and they update it all the time. So I would say League of Comic Geeks is just the place to go for new comic books. I'm not sure about old stuff, but every single weekly and previews and FOC, League of Comic Geeks. Matt C asks, can you show off your 3 most valuable books? Matt C, like I said earlier in the video, I honestly don't know what my 3 most valuable books are. I don't keep tabs on my collection like that. I know a lot of people scan their books every single week with CLZ, and they have all their collection in the app, and so they can easily tell what is their most expensive books, but I don't. I started doing that, and I realized I have like 24 long boxes downstairs, and to scan every single one would take so much time, and I just don't have that kind of time. So I don't know. I would say probably 3 issues downstairs of Something is Killing the Children are probably my most valuable books in my collection right now. Because like I said before, I sold off a lot of my stuff. Next up, Milton's Stapler, such a great name. As a cover lover, do you ever buy the gimmicky covers? Metal, leather, foil, acetate, etc. And which ones are you a sucker for? Great question. I've never bought a metal cover. They're usually just out of my price range because I don't want to spend $50 to $100 on a single book that I don't absolutely love the cover for. Like this X-Men one right here by Joshua Sway. I did spend $80 on, and I kind of regret it only because the cover is supposed to be near mint, but there's a bend in it, and it's not color breaking, but it was kind of a waste of money at this point because I don't know if the bend is going to be fixable. So I don't like to spend a lot of like things on like metal or leather. Now foils, I'm a sucker for. I'm a sucker in the way that so many foils now don't look that great, but I still buy them when I see the word foil. I might add to cart. It just happens. I don't know why, and then I get them and I'm disappointed. But I'm a sucker for foils. Acetates, not so much. And what's it called when there's like a hole in the cover? You can open it. Oh man, I can't think of the name of that. Those are really cool as well. I have a couple of those that I really like, and there is one coming out for We're Taking Them All Down With Us or something like that. It's a new #1 coming out from Matthew Rosenberg. I spoke about it in yesterday's Wednesday pull list video. There is one of those. It's like there's a robot, it has a hole through its chest, and you open it and you can see what's behind the robot. That's gonna be really cool. All right guys, next up, M. Smith 2033 asks, question: you made an episode about a series where how you were gonna try to make money collecting comic books. Wonder whatever happened to the series, whatever happened to the book you tried to press. Great question. I tried pressing the book, and what I thought I was gonna be able to press out, I was not able to handle myself. And then life happened. I honestly got so busy, and I realized the amount of time I would have to invest in a series like that, I couldn't do it. I have a full-time job. I actually got to start work in 35 minutes. And when I had big aspirations, right? I see things that I think would be a really cool video series, and then I want to do them, and then I sit down and I get started, and then I never took the time to think about what it would take to make that series enjoyable. Now, there are so many other channels, not comic book related, like tech, like PC tech, that I see that are amazing, but a lot of them who do these type of research videos have a team that does the research, and then there's a face that gives you the information. So he doesn't have to do all the research and everything else. He just needs to be the face. If this channel ever got that big, I would love to do a series like that, where I could tell someone to do that, and then I could just give you guys the information. I just don't have the time. So that series will probably, that was a 1-episode series that I had big aspirations that I'm never going to be able to follow through with, at least right now. Maybe when my kids are in college and I don't have to be with them every single day and drive them to school and pick them up and bring them to the doctors when they're sick and that type of thing, I'll have a lot more time and I can go back to that series. But as of right now, I don't see me going back to doing a series like that. All right, so there are 4 questions left. I'll try to go as quickly as possible because I know this video is super long. All right, first up, this is coming from Ruben Reyes. 3785. He has 3 questions. First up, what's your favorite cover of all time? I would say one of my favorites right now is this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. It's so good by DK Ruan, but also that cover up there that's also by DK Ruan is Batman Beyond Neo-Gothic. Issue #1 is also one of my favorites, but again, it changes every single week. This one by Joshua Swaby is amazing. This one by Oliver Copel. There's just great covers out every single week. It changes. Every time I change the wall, I have a new favorite. Next up is from Ruben. He asks, what do you think will happen with the comic industry when the tariffs and the looming recession hits? Great question. I honestly don't know. I know it's going to affect us because it's going to possibly affect a lot of the things with comic books, because a lot of our comic books are actually printed in Canada. So if those tariffs hit, that extra money that they're going to have to pay to get those books over the border, it's going to affect us in the long run. So hopefully Trump won't go through with those, and he will see reason, and we won't have our books raise up in price. But if it does, I can 100% see that happening, and I'm not sure about the looming recession. I honestly don't follow politics all that much. I watch The Daily Show, at least the little snippets on YouTube, on their YouTube channel, every morning, and I get a little comedy update on what's going on in politics. But other than that, I don't follow politics all that much. All right, guys, the last and final question is coming from Sydney Rivera, and he says, Buddy Bruce, thanks for your efforts. Is your favorite G.I. Joe Cutter? Well, I honestly have no idea who Cutter is, but luckily I have a computer right in front of me, and I can write G.I. Joe character Cutter, and I can see who this is. Now, let's look at the images, and oh my god, he's a Boston Red Sox fan. So obviously, yes, he is my favorite G.I. Joe character just for that reason. That's amazing. Sydney, I had no idea how you knew that, but yes, he would be my 100% my favorite G.I. Joe character. All right, guys, that is the end of the first episode of Probing Bruce. I know it was long. I had no idea I was going to be so long-winded on a lot of those questions, and I will try to cut out as much fat as I can and make this as short as possible, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you learned something about me. Now, hopefully you also thought of more questions, and if you did, and you would like to share those questions down in the comments below for the next Probing Bruce, which will come out in April, we'll go right ahead, because I would love to answer more questions. Now remember, it doesn't just have to be about my collecting habits or about me. You can ask about more specific story things like, hey Bruce, are you reading the most current thing from Marvel Comics? Or you can ask questions about Marvel Comics like, hey, if you had to pick, one publisher to go under and never come back again, who would it be? Or who is the better publisher, Marvel or DC? Give us your reasons. You could ask, I don't know, anything really. I'm just trying to give you guys more ideas because I think it's, you guys will probably run out of questions at some point, but if we keep it more open to the industry stuff sometimes, you guys might have more. So just some ideas. You guys do what you want. It's your questions for me, and I will do my best to answer them. All right, guys, we are at the end of today's video. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys are smashing the like button. Now, if you guys look down at the subscribe button and you're not subscribed, well, I'm just gonna say, what are you guys doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. All right, guys, that's going to do it for Probing Bruce Episode 1. I'll catch you guys next week on the Wednesday pull list. All right, guys, have yourself a great weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.